Hey all, it's Alyssa from Alyssa's Bake Shop and it's blueberry season here. So to celebrate that, I'm going to share with you how to make these blueberry crumble cookie bars. I really love these. My family and friends all approve of them. So first you want to make sure that your blueberries are washed and patted dry. Then cut up your chilled butter into little cubes just like this, and we're going to set this aside. In a large mixing bowl, we're going to add our dry ingredients. So I'm adding our flour, then I'm going to add our granulated sugar, our brown sugar, our baking powder, and our salt. You don't need to use a stand mixer like I have here. You can just use a large bowl. In a separate little bowl here, I'm just adding my egg, and then I added some vanilla, and we're going to whisk these together, and we want to whisk them together before we add them to the dry ingredients because it'll just incorporate better into those other ingredients. We want to add this liquid into our dry ingredients, and then I'm going to go ahead and add our chilled cubed butter. And then we're going to be taking a pastry cutter. You could also use 2 forks if you don't have a cutter. You can even use your hands as well. You're going to get a little bit messy and sticky, but that's okay. And you just want to start to bring all of this together. When it all starts to turn into some coarse, large pieces, that's when you know it's ready. I know it looks kind of interesting, but it's okay. We don't have to knead this into a ball of dough because we're going to be pressing it and crumbling it. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and then we're going to prepare it for baking. So I'm using a 9 by 13 inch pan, and I just put some parchment paper down, and then I took half of the cookie dough mixture and I just started to press that into the pan. You want to make sure that you get those corners and that also you're pressing the dough to an even thickness. Now we're going to make the yummy blueberry filling. So I'm taking 4 cups of blueberries. I actually got these at the farmer's market, and I really try to shop seasonally, and I try to buy fruits and vegetables in their season because they really do taste better. But if you're watching this and it's not summertime, that's perfectly okay. You can use frozen blueberries, but you want to make sure that they thaw, and then you pat off all of that excess water. You're going to add your sugar, your cornstarch, and your lemon juice, and then we're just going to make sure we evenly coat the blueberries. So I'm using 2 spoons here just to make sure that we don't have any big clumps because that's not going to taste very good. This is the easiest filling ever, and it really takes no time at all. Pour your blueberry filling over the cookie base, and then I'm just going to spread it out so that the blueberries are nice and even layer. We're going to take the other half of the cookie dough and we're just going to crumble it up to have a nice crumble topping. This is such an easy recipe in the idea that you are using the cookie dough as both the base and the crumble. A lot of recipes that I have tried in the past, it requires you to make a whole nother crumble, but this is just such a clever idea, and I've been using this for a while when I make desserts for my family. So if some of the pieces are a little bit too big, you can just crumble them smaller in between your hands, and you really want to make sure that you put the crumble all on top of the blueberries because it will just give that nice extra yummy crispness when you take a bite into the bar. When you're done adding the crumble, it's time to bake this up, and oh my gosh, so exciting to eat it. I'm going to put this in the oven. It takes about 38 minutes for mine to bake up, but what I like to do is set my timer for about 15 minutes so that I can turn it at least one time. Now, when it looks nice and golden brown, that's how you know it's done, and also you might see the blueberries just kind of bubbling a little bit. I recommend waiting for at least an hour or 2 before you go to cut these because they are going to be too warm to cut and it's just going to be too messy. Once they've cooled down a bit, you can either measure it with a ruler or eyeball it like I'm doing here, and these cut up into 15 medium-sized bars, which is the perfect size. Now honestly, these really taste great at all temperatures. When they're hot, you can warm them up and serve them with ice cream, or room temperature is really good, and even cold straight from the refrigerator tastes really good. I know that might sound funny, but it's just a different type of flavor. Now, I recommend to store these in the refrigerator for about 5 days in an airtight container, and definitely eat them fresh, and there won't be any left. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you next time.